seen it.
Welcome to Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt of the Marquardt Law Firm at marquardtlawfirm.com.
Welcome back to Talk Law Radio. I'm Todd Marquardt, on the radio, on Facebook Live, on YouTube, on talklawradio.com, on Instagram with Shannon Roberta San Antonio and Adam Tostado, who has the tax business. He's talking to us about year-end tax planning, and we're going to talk more specific about some boring things, but I'm sure that he'll make it not boring.
But then we get to talk about your tie, right? At some point.
Yeah, my Thanksgiving tie and my November mustache.
Yeah.
Which just gets better and better, I think, every day. It's my Ron Burgundy. I'm kind of a big deal.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, Adam, let's pretend that somebody is starting a business or they already have a business and they're making money now, and so they're worried about bookkeeping, payroll, and tax. Yeah. How can you help them?
Backing it up a little bit, when somebody has a dream or an idea about having a business, that's when I would like to get them. Is because a lot of people now are coming to me and they're like, I think I could do this. And what I do is I run them through their paces. If somebody says, I'm going to open up a restaurant. Okay, who likes your food? Well, my family likes your food. No. Why don't you cook for 6 strangers and see if they like their food?
Yeah.
And then they find out that no, they don't cook that well.
Yeah.
And so you want to find out, is this business good for them? You know,
yeah.
And find that out. Once we find out that there's a business that fits the person and they can probably make it, then we say, okay, what do you think you need? You know, do you need bookkeeping? No, because a lot nowadays the banks, if you pick a bank, not a credit union, but if you pick a bank, the banks have these features where you can download your transactions, you know, so you could download it every month or every year. And so the necessity for having a bookkeeper really doesn't get needed very much. The only reason you really need a bookkeeper is so if you need financial statements, like if you want to buy a house or you want to purchase something, buy cars, or want to see as a whole what your business is doing, then yes, you need a bookkeeper to put all those numbers together and get a financial statement and get some strategy in there. But if you're just starting out, you got to save your money. You got to figure out, you know,
right.
what you're doing. So you don't want to jump into that cost.
You're not Bill Gates.
Exactly. So you want to start it out. And so do I need payroll? Well, that's depending on what you're doing. If we're starting out and we're a sole proprietorship, which means that it's your personal tax return has your business inside of your tax return, first of all, you can't take a paycheck because the owner cannot take a paycheck out of it. But if you have set up an LLC and you do a corporate tax return with a personal tax return, then in the corporate tax return, you could take a paycheck. Actually, it's a requirement for you to take a paycheck. But then people tell me, well, how much of a paycheck? Well, the IRS doesn't specify. They just say you have to take a paycheck. And it has to be greater than $1, you know? Is $1,000? Is $100,000? We don't know. But what I usually do is I say, okay, what's your personal budget? Not your business expenses, but your personal. What are your groceries? What's your home rent or mortgage, property taxes? Your personal expenses. You add all that up every month, and then that becomes your paycheck. Okay, so now you know how much you need to take out of the business as a paycheck. Why that? Why not just dive into the business and just pull the money out and pay it? Well, if you take a distribution from your company, it's not deductible. So if I made $30,000 and I took $10,000 out just as a distribution, you still have $30,000 profit in your business, and you got to pay taxes based on $30,000. But if you take a paycheck of $10,000 out of the business, now your profit is $20,000. And the $10,000 is on a W-2 and you file both of those. So there's a strategy for that. And so you say, well, I want to do a Roth IRA or an IRA and stuff like that. Well, if you do it through your paycheck, it's a deduction that's not taxable. So we took out more money, not paid taxes, and we're in a better situation. So the need for, payroll depends on how much money you're coming in and how much is going out, and then we go from there. But the idea of starting a business, yes. Should I set up an LLC? I would recommend that because as your business grows, you don't want to stumble and say, "Oh, I got to set up an LLC because I've never
Right.
done that before."
Right.
Because if you leave things without an LLC, then it defaults to a sole proprietorship, which means that if you have any profit in your business, your tax rate starts at 30.9%. Who wants to pay 30.9% of anything?
Yeah.
So no, we don't want to do that. When we do a corporate tax return, the same income in the same business, you end up paying 15% starting, and it goes up from there. But now you're saving that 15.9 of self-employment tax. You're saving that. And the reason that you save that is because you're now taking a paycheck out of your business. So the IRS says, well, you're paying income taxes, Social Security, and Medicare. So now we're not going to charge you the Social Security,
Oh, okay.
the self-employment tax.
Wow.
So there's a strategy for all of
Yeah.
that.
And a rationale, sounds like, too.
Yeah. And so when I explain that to people, they're like, oh, this is too much. I'm like, no, let's take things 3 steps at a time.
Yeah.
So when we do 3 things at a time, then we're done with that. We got it. Then we do the next steps. And then we go from there.
You sound like a coach also, a counselor and a coach.
How do
and-
you have time to do all that?
You're talking to clients all day long, you
Yeah.
know, but I like it. I like to see my clients. And my clients, when they come to me, it's not like I'm going to a CPA office or it's not cold. They come in, they help themselves to the fridge, they make themselves the coffee, we sit down, we have a conversation.
You still
and
let them bring their dog?
you bring your animals, we have treats for your animals, and so when they come in, it's a very relaxed environment. And we just have a conversation, and then it's about strategy. Like right now, we're doing end-of-year strategies. So people are so freaked out. Oh my God, I made so much money in this and stuff like that. Okay, what do we need to do? And so when we're doing these strategies, we're figuring out, we know how much money you made. We know what your basic expenses are. If you have some profit in there that you need to wash because, oh my God, I don't want to pay a lot of taxes, then what do you need? So when
Can I hire my kids?
Can we hire no, that's a valid question. Can I hire my kids? Do I go buy a vehicle? Do I go buy something else? And so I tell them according to what they're looking for. If they want to buy a house, guess what? The house is not deductible, So, and if we buy a rental house, the depreciation is very small. So, maybe not. Do I want to hire my kids? Maybe. So instead of giving the kids an allowance that is after taxes and we just throw away the money, that we hire the kids, they do something in the business to help us wash the car, file forms, do whatever it is.
My kids were directors of document destruction.
There you go. And so when we hire them, we now give them a W-2 paycheck. If they make less than $15,000 a year, there's no taxes due. So we don't have them pay taxes on their W-2. All they pay is Social Security and Medicare, and that's small. But now their income that they're making now is a deduction to the business. We now teach them how to do financial planning.
Right.
When you have money and you're going to find out that your kids will turn on you. Okay? So when your kids turn on you, you're like, what happens? Well, the kids
Won't
always
they turn
say,
on you anyway, even if you don't have money?
because now the kids are like, okay, well, I need a baseball bat and some gloves for baseball. And they're like, well, you make a paycheck, you have money in the bank account, go buy it. And they're like, well, no, we don't want to use our money. We want to use your money.
What do you do? Have you ever had a client want to do something really unethical and you had to talk them down?
I just tell them they're not my client anymore.
Yeah.
You know, because I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Because if they ask that question,
Yeah.
then I know that they're gonna go out and do it anyway.
Oh, good point.
Oh, yeah.
You know, they're
So
gonna
why-
go
why
do it
get
anyway. And
involved
so
in
at
that?
the end of
Yeah.
the year or every month when they're giving me the information, there's a tweak in there that I'm
Right.
not realizing.
Right.
And then so
Yeah.
I've had that happen once where the client got audited. We went to the office and we're meeting with the agent and we're in front of the agent and the client whispers in my ear and he's like, I kind of made up the numbers. And then I was like, okay.
What an awful time to,
No,
like,
and so because he knows
Well,
that in that aspect, he can't get out of it.
Right,
And
right.
so when
Have you ever had somebody testify.
Oh, of course. Yes. Like, why am I hearing about this? That you're
the
up
first
there
time.
on the witness
Yeah.
stand.
Yeah, and so
You could have told me at any point.
Yeah,
You know.
and so I kept my cool, and I was like, okay. I asked the auditor, can you give us 90 days to get the right information, this and that. Auditor said yes. We're like, okay.
They know you, that you already have.
Yeah,
They
and
know
so they said yes. We're leaving the office, and then I said, good luck. Find another tax return. You have 90 days.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, well, no, I want you. No.
How do you say that in Chicagoese?
See ya. See ya.
I'm gonna go get a slice.
Yeah, I'm gonna go, because if they lied to me once and
Yeah.
they were unethical in that, what's to say that the information that I'm gonna get is the same? That they made it up, they drew
Right.
it up, whatever it is.
Right.
And I'm just not gonna deal with that, because when you're dealing with the IRS, your reputation as a professional is
Yes.
at risk.
Yeah.
So when they see you and they see that, oh, he dealt with these 5 people and these were all liars and they all cheaters and stuff like
Yeah.
that, you don't want to attach yourself to that. And so we're very careful about how we're taking people. And you know what? If he would have told me early on before the audit, listen, I made up the numbers and I don't know what to do. And then I said,
Right,
okay, let's
right.
fix this now. Let's file an amended
Right.
tax return.
Right.
Let's fix this. Let's
Come
see
clean,
what.
yeah.
And let's figure it out. Everything can be fixed.
Mm-hmm.
But when you don't know that it's broken, how do you know to fix it?
Yeah.
And so, and when you want to be honest with it,
Mm-hmm.
then they're picking the most inopportune moment to say it.
So
Right.
don't make a Tostado angry.
No, you'll
we
be
got
on
it.
your own.
We got to take a break. We'll be right back.
This has been Talk Law Radio with attorney Todd Marquardt, brought to you by the Marquardt Law Firm. You can learn more at marquardtlawfirm.com. And be sure to listen to the full Talk Law Radio show Saturday mornings at 11 on 9:30 a.m. The Answer.
Each week, attorney Todd Marquardt talks about the law. His mission with the Talk Law radio show and podcast is to help you discover your legal issue blind spots. In the beginning, God had one law. Don't eat from the fruit of that tree. Then came the 10 Commandments. Now we have federal, state, and municipal lawmakers that won't stop creating new laws. Laws that might impact you without you knowing it. Listen to the show and drop a line on Facebook or email host@talklawradio.com and let the host know what you think of the show, the topics you want to hear, and whether you want to be a guest.